Hello viewers, I'm your host Swati Kundra with another episode of South Asia Focus. We begin the show from India, which recently welcomed its large diaspora during the 14th edition of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in Bengaluru city. The event, attended by Indian Prime Minister and the President along with other dignitaries. PM Modi called the NRIs as role models who spread Indian values and cultures wherever they go. Many NRIs wish to contribute for the nation by bringing investments in various spheres. Take a look.
India has the world's second largest diaspora with more than 30 million people settling overseas since colonial times. Through generation, the diaspora has been contributing towards spreading Indian culture and values globally. With an aim to connect with non-resident Indians, NRIs and people of Indian origin, PIOs, the 14th edition of 3-day Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was organized in Bengaluru. The event also aimed to connect with the youth, the new generation of Pravasis growing up all over the world.
There are over 30 million overseas Indians living abroad. Their footprint is all over the world. But Indians abroad are valued not just for their strength in numbers. They are respected for the contributions they make to India and to the societies and countries where they live.
The event provides a platform to overseas Indians to engage with the government on issues of concern and to explore opportunities for investment in India and contribution to the country of their origin. The participants were thrilled with the new opportunities in the country.
The boom is there, and India is growing on a completely different tangent altogether where it's never been seen that way. And whatever has been promised, we see it happening. So that's very promising for all of us to come back to India, to do something in India as well. Because I'm there for 18 years and I've been running few businesses there in UAE, and I was content till now. So last 3 months, which the calling has come, like go to India and find out what's happening. Maybe India also needs something from you where you are able to, whatever little bit of contribution as your own mother country, where you're able to give back to your country.
Now India is happening. And we are very proud about it. And when we look at the current scenario, and we feel that we being Indians, being out of the country for so many years, like I've been living out of the country for more than 25 years, it's our individual duty to be part of such great summit and see how well we can contribute back to society. And that's one of the areas where we thought that we should come across, meet across with like-minded people, bring in valuable suggestions which can be taken forward, so at least the next generation and they could become the great sign of everything to the next part of the world.
Launched in 2003, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas also provides an opportunity to the overseas Indians to network with other NRIs residing in various parts of the world.
Pravasi Bharatiya Divas itself was not to attract investments but to facilitate and showcase opportunity for investment in the country. Moving on, Afghanistan has for decades been a victim of terror and violence. On January 10th, the country faced another day of bloodbath with dozens killed and many more injured in blasts in Kabul, Kandahar and Helmand. The attacks have raised concern of deteriorating security situation in the war-torn country.
It was a deadly day in the history of Afghanistan as the Taliban launched winter campaign of violence. In a series of blasts in Kabul, Kandahar and Helmand, some 57 people, including 5 officials from the United Arab Emirates, were killed while several were injured. The Emiratis were among 12 killed when explosive hidden in a sofa detonated inside the governor's compound in Kandahar, while the UAE's ambassador to Afghanistan escaped the attack with injuries. Just hours before twin blasts in Kabul tore through a parliament annex, which houses the office of lawmakers, killing at least 38 people and wounding 86 others. A day before in Lashkar-e-Taiba, the capital of volatile Helmand province, a Taliban suicide bomber killed 7 people as the militants ramp up nationwide attacks in frigid winter months when fighting usually wanes. The carnage underscores growing insecurity in Afghanistan, where US-backed forces are struggling to combat a resilient Taliban insurgency, as well as Al-Qaeda and Islamic State militants.
President Ashraf Ghani condemned the bombing and ordered an investigation led by Afghanistan's National Security Council Chief Hanif Atmar. To get an insight into these dreaded attacks, we are now joined by Smriti Patnaik, an expert on Afghanistan. Ms. Patnaik, the Taliban has claimed to be behind attacks in Kabul and other places. What are the motives and demands of Taliban?
Frankly speaking, one has, there are three things. Number one is the Taliban has very clearly said that the constitution of Afghanistan is not acceptable to them. So they want a kind of Sharia law. And recently the reports have come that the kind of settlement or the kind of agreement which Afghanistan government reached with Hekmatyar, one of the prominent insurgent groups, but not as powerful as Taliban is. So they want a replication of the same kind of agreement with Taliban, but it is not very clear what exactly the Taliban wants. Like for example, on one hand they are engaged in kind of violence within Afghanistan, and on the other hand they are also engaged with Afghan the peace talks with the Afghan government. So that is one, what Taliban wants, like Sharia law. They want the American troops to be completely withdrawn from Afghanistan, which actually after a few rounds of talk it is not, some report says that they are amenable to the presence of the foreign troops, but as far as Sharia is concerned, they are not going to have any compromise.
Afghanistan keeps blaming neighboring Pakistan for sheltering Taliban insurgents and carrying out such attacks in the country. Do you find any such involvement in these incidents?
Of course, Taliban is supported by Pakistan, and everybody knows that the entire Taliban leadership, actually, which is very well known as Quetta Surah, has got the backing of both Pakistan Army and the intelligence agencies. And also at the same time, the Haqqani network, which was actually ensconced in the North Waziristan, and now there are reports that he was provided earlier intelligence, and now he has shifted to Paktia province of Afghanistan. So he also has the logistic support from the Pakistan intelligence and Pakistan army. Apart from the kind of logistic support and the kind of support which Pakistan, political and diplomatic support which Pakistan has been providing to the Taliban leaders, and the families of Taliban leaders are also present in Pakistan, and they have been taken care of by the Pakistan intelligence agencies. And the talk which is happening between the Afghanistan government, which had happened between Afghanistan government and Pakistan, where China and the United States, where the other two countries were participating in those talks, one also has seen the Pakistan's input in those kind of talks, which gives an impression that the insurgency in Afghanistan cannot continue for such a long time without active support of Pakistan and also the Pakistan establishment. So therefore there is every evidence to link up Taliban with the Pakistan establishment, especially the Pakistan army and the intelligence agencies.
Well, thank you, Ms. Patnaik. Moving on, China has pumped in millions of dollars in Sri Lanka's infrastructure projects since the end of a 26-year civil war in 2009. The latest one being the planned investment zone near the Hambantota port in southern part of the country. Both the parties are on the verge of signing the deal, which might cause huge losses and inconvenience to the local people. Recently, people took to the streets to protest against the deal.
The Sri Lankan government, in the presence of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, launched a major industrial zone for Chinese companies in the southern port city of Hambantota amid huge protests by locals who believe that this ambitious project is not going to help them and it is going to take away their land, which eventually will become a Chinese colony. The government is finalizing a 99-year lease of the port area to a company that is 80% Chinese-owned. The plan envisages eviction of thousands of villagers around Hambantota port, and nearby area will be used for an industrial zone where Chinese companies will be invited to set up factories. Although the government says local people will be given new land, people are just not ready to accept the offer, as they will lose their farming land because of the deal. Experts also believe that the arrangement is that Colombo will have virtually no control over the port, and that could also mean inviting unwanted international strategic interests in the port and converting Sri Lanka into a theatre of regional and global rivalries. Hambantota Port was built with Chinese finances in 2010 as part of efforts to develop the country's infrastructure after ending a 26-year war in 2009.
To speak more on this, we are now joined by Ms. Gulbin Sultana, who's an expert on Sri Lanka. Ms. Sultana, do you think China has more than just business interests in first developing the port and then setting up economic zone?
Yes, whatever China does, particularly in Indian Ocean or everywhere, they have both strategic interest and economic interest. So we should not see it only from economic interest perspective, though probably Sri Lankan government sometimes to satisfy Indian concern and all, to address Indian concern, they say it's like we're just having economic deal. But we should, I don't think it's only economic interest, they also have strategic interest. And the setting up of factories, of course, because it's Hambantota, it's a special economic zone. They are getting 80% of equity share there. So they'll be giving 15,000 acres of land in the Hambantota where they'll get their investors. Though Sri Lankan government has said that they'll be asking Japan, India, Singapore, all these countries also to invest. But the concern here is the 80% ownership of that area, those lands, probably they are going to the Chinese companies.
Do you think Sri Lanka will really be benefited now as they have changed their stance from what they thought about the deal in the past?
You remember that 2015 when this government came into power, the National Unity government, they were against the Chinese projects, like not only Hambantota project but also Colombo Port City project. But then after suspending it for 3-4 months, they again had to resume it because they realized that if they ask them to cancel the projects, they'll have to pay a huge compensation.
Thank you, Ms. Sultana. Now we talk about Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or POK, where people have no rights and amenities. The resource-rich region was part of erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. Today, it has become a hub of various militant outfits. To get more into the reality of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, we are now joined by Dr. Shabir Chaudhry, an author from the region who now lives in exile. Dr. Chaudhry, Pakistan claims that Kashmir will become part of its territory. How do you see this argument?
ये नारा कि कश्मीर बनेगा पाकिस्तान, ये इसलिए नहीं किया गया था कि कश्मीर को हेल्प करनी है, ये इसलिए किया गया था टू फूल पीपल इन नेम ऑफ रिलीजन और टू मसले को जाने के लिए किया गया था. एंड देयर सक्सेस. अभी तक उन लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाया जा रहा है मजहब के नाम पर और मसला अभी तक उलझा हुआ. वाई शुड कश्मीर बिकम पार्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान? जो पाकिस्तान के साथ है इस पाकिस्तान को लादा हो गया. सिंध वाले के सिंध देश बनाने की सोच रहे हैं, नाराबाजी उनकी भी हो रही है. बलूचिस्तान वाले इंडिपेंडेंट बलूचिस्तान कहते हैं. वो जो पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा थे वो तो रहना नहीं चाहते. फिर ये कहते हैं कि हमारी शहर आगे जंगल और वहन है. मुझे बताएं कि कोई जानदार चीज़ शहर आग के बगैर जिंदा रह सकती है? ईस्ट पाकिस्तान आपने ज़ाया कर दिया बिकॉज ऑफ योर ओन फॉलीज. उसके बगैर आप जिंदा हैं. फिर भी टू नेशन की बात करते हैं, टू नेशन थ्योरी की बात करते हैं.
Recently, Pakistan organized massive rallies in support of Kashmir, which were led by Hafiz Saeed, co-founder of Lashkar-e-Taiba. Do people like him have right to claim Kashmir?
People like Hafiz Saeed, are they promoting peace? Are they, जो उनके policies हैं, are they pro people? Are they pro Kashmir? The man is known for his जो policies हैं, world known internationally. Where he comes, people start thinking of terrorism, violence, jihad, dead bodies, blood of innocent. If this kind of person is leading the procession, well, you can see what his objectives are.
Pakistan calls POK as Azad or Free Kashmir. Do people there have genuine rights to elect their candidates?
जिसको हम आज़ाद कश्मीर या पाकिस्तानी ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर कहते हैं, virtually it is now taken over by Pakistani political parties. हम तो ये भी डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते कि कौन आदमी हमारा जो है ना कैंडिडेट होगा. उसका फैसला भी या नवाज शरीफ करते हैं या इमरान खान करते हैं या जरदारी साहब करते हैं। सो हमारे क्या काम कराया गया उसमें? वोट भी हमें देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि वोट भी उन्होंने डिसाइड किया होता है कि कौन जीतेगा। यदि प्रैक्टिस होती है, यदि लोग जाते हैं तो, लेकिन बाय एंड लार्ज दे टेक द डिसीजन विच पार्टी इज़ गोइंग टू विन। तो ये तो सब बेवकूफ़ बना रहे हैं हम लोगों को। वो लोग बन रहे हैं इन द नेम ऑफ रिलीजन। कुछ डरते भी हैं, साफ नहीं बोलते। शायद मैं वहाँ पर होता मीरपुर में या भिम्बर में तो मेरा पता नहीं क्या असर होता। शायद मेरी जो है ना पता नहीं 10 बार मुझे मार चुका होता। अगर मेरी 10 लाइफ्स होती तो 10 खत्म हो चुकी होती।
Finally, our viewers would like to know about sedition charges against many political leaders in POK. What is the reality?
When you come to Pakistani side of Kashmir, कितने लोगों पर आने के यहाँ पर बंदूक पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ अभी उठाई नहीं गई। फ्यूचर में क्या होगा आई डोंट नो। इसके बावजूद कितने लोगों पर गद्दारी का मुकदमा है। अब जो सी पैक बन रहा है, यानी कुछ लोग इसको चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर कहते हैं, कुछ कहते हैं चाइना पंजाब इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर, वट एवर टर्मिनोलॉजी आपको सूट करती है वो कहें, हम सी पैक कहते हैं इन शॉर्ट। अब उसका हमें गिलगित बल्तिस्तान वालों को कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, पाकिस्तानी ऑक्यूपाइड वालों को कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है। ठीक है, हमारे इसमें तो प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे। एंड इफ़ यू आर लकी मे बी विल बी अलाउड टू सेल एग्स, दैट इज़ इफ़ यू आर लकी। वो भी शायद पीकिंग से आए, यानी चाइना से आए। तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अब ये कह दिया गया है कि एनी बडी हुज अपोजिंग सी पैक, उसके खिलाफ स्टेशन चार्जेस आएंगे। यानी कि सी पैक की मुखाफत करनी या उस पर ऑब्जेक्शन रेज करना या डिमांड करना कि वी वांट दिस, इसका मतलब ये हुआ है कि आप पर गद्दारी का मुकदमा चल सकता है। तो मुझे बताएं कि कोई किस साइड पर नाइंसाफी हो रही है।
Well, thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. Moving on, Nepal has been going through a political turmoil since the promulgation of the new constitution in 2015. The country remains divided on the constitution, with one side supporting its amendment and the other opposing it. There is also a section of people in the country who demand the return of monarchy rule. A report.
On January 11, people in Pasa district of Nepal celebrated the 295th birth anniversary of late King Prithvi Narayan Shah and demanded monarchy in the country. Shah's birth anniversary coincided with National Unity Day, when the king unified the modern-day Nepal, which was divided into several small principalities before the unification and expansion of the Gurkha kingdom. Carrying the national flag, placards and banners, people raised nationalist slogans and took out a rally calling for adhering to the principles propounded by Prithvi Narayan Shah.
अब पूरा नेपाल में कल से आंदोलन होगा, चाहे उसके लिए जो कुछ भी करना पड़ेगा। नेपाली जनता उस राज संस्था के साथ में है और 601 को अगर गोली मारना होगा या हथियार से कटना होगा तभी भी हम लोग राष्ट्रवादी, हम जनता और राजा के साथ में है। इसके लिए जो कुछ भी करना पड़ेगा किया जाएगा, लेकिन राज संस्था ये स्थापना होगा। आज नहीं तो कल राजा ज्ञानेंद्र आएंगे।
Nepal was under the Shah dynasty until the monarchy rule was abolished in May 2008, and subsequently Nepal became a federal democratic republic state. However, the country has witnessed several uprisings, especially against the present ruling establishment led by Mao's leader Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda.
The demand for monarch rule in Nepal is growing as the ruling coalition has failed to create a conducive atmosphere for the implementation of the year-old constitution. We are now joined by Dr. Ramhari Dhakal, a researcher based in Kathmandu. Mr. Dhakal, what led to the people of Nepal demanding the return of monarchy in the country?
Actually, when monarchy was ended about a decade back, Nepalese people had great intentions to get the political changes, and that could bring the various kinds of developments, and people had more expectations. But what the peoples got after the end of democracy, that is not satisfactory, because some of the groups of the peoples were already demanding the monarchy, like Lashkar-e-Taiba party, are still existing, and the new parties, political parties, which were trying to give some newness to the people, could not give that. And because of the big political instability existing even today in Nepal, that could remind the monarchy of the past, because monarchy, though it was not good for Nepal and Nepali people, but rather than present situations, it could be far better. People started to think, and the voice of monarchy started to continue in today's scenario.
If the political uncertainty continues to remain in Nepal, how will it impact the existence of democracy in the country?
Actually, it's not the good symptom for the Nepalese politics. When the conflict arises and the political parties become bipolar, in these situations, there is a high chance of the conflict. Even the political parties may reach up to the situations of the war, and that may cause the civil war finally. But initially we can say that youths of Nepal don't like to stay here, and the brain drain is very high in Nepal. Not only the brain drain, muscles drain we can call the people who go to the different Gulf countries to work there. So here is the muscles drain as well as brain drain is very high, and the youths who were needed to bring the change in Nepalese politics were declining from Nepal's. That's why it may remain in one side in the political status quo. In the other hands, that may bring the big changes, big conflicts in the coming futures.
And finally, we take you to International Kite Festival in Ahmedabad city of India's Gujarat state. The air in the festival was filled with exuberance, and it was all joy and color all around. Take a look.
The serene blue sky looked splendid with kites of all shapes, shades and colors as the 7-day-long kite festival began. One of the most popular festivals among all age groups, attracts thousands every year, and this year is no different, with people from all across the globe thronging the venue. About 150 kite flyers from 31 countries have arrived to participate in the event. India is represented by about 50 kite flyers from 8 states. Kite flyers from the USA, Canada, Germany, Israel, Italy, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Poland, Russia, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland and the United Kingdom are part of them.
It's a very big festival, a lot of participants from all around the world, and it's a lot of beautiful kites here, and they are so different, so it's amazing.
This festival is, for me, is the best, and it's a very big festival, very big people from many countries. The people from India is very friendly. For me, it's the best festival on the world.
It has grown from small and simple kites to the fancy and gigantic bird and dragon kites in recent years. There are several enthusiasts who have been attending this festival for several years.
This kite festival is awesome. So many people from different countries, and we all got the same hobby. It's really, really great.
The festival, which coincides with Makar Sankranti, a festival observed in India which marks the gradual arrival of summers in the country, is organized every year by the Tourism Department of the Gujarat government. The event has been gratifying for all those who have arrived till date and promises to be a great success by the time it comes to an end.
A wonderful festival to be a part of. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode of South Asia Focus. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.